Good morning everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we are just going to be doing finding the magnitude of a vector. Let's say find the magnitude of this. So to find the magnitude, let's begin with the formula. So let's say for A, we are going to be using this. This means the magnitude. So immediately you see this, just not to say we are talking about the magnitude. So let's say we are talking about the magnitude of A. This should be equal to the square x squared plus y squared plus z squared. So now when you see your I, whatever has got I, it means to say that's your x component. Whatever has j, that's your y component. Whatever has k, that's your z component. So to find the value of our absolute value of A, or rather the magnitude, we are going to say the magnitude of A should be equal to, we are going to say the square root of, let's say this one is our 3 squared, since x is equal to 3, so we put 3 squared plus our y is equal to 4 squared, then we have plus another, the z is 2 squared, like that. Then we are going to add, so it will be a square root of 3 squared is 9 plus 4 squared is 16 plus 4 squared is 2 squared is 4, like that. So we are going to add, we have the square root of 9 plus 16 plus 4, it will be equal to our 28. Sorry, not 28, 29, like that. So this is our magnitude of A, like that. Going to our B, let's say your B is like this. So you can say that your x should be equal to, our magnitude of B should be equal to the square root of our x squared plus y squared plus our z squared. So it will be, the magnitude of B should be equal to the square root of our x. If immediately you see 7j plus 8, this is the same as the x1 is I, so it's there, it's only that it's 0i plus 7j, then we have plus 8k, like that. So this is the way it is. If you just see that one is missing, it means it's 0. So we are going to say 0 squared plus our y is equal to 7 squared, the one with j is our I, plus our z, the one with k, will be our 8 squared. So this should be equal to the square root of our 7 squared, let's just ignore the 0. 7 squared is 49 plus 8 squared gives us a 64. So it should be equal to, when we add 49 plus 64, we are going to get a square root of 49 plus our 64. We are going to get the square root of 113. We can go further, but it's okay even if you did this. So this is our magnitude, 113. Now let's see if we look at our C. So let's look at our C like that. So we are going to say the absolute, the value of the size of C should be equal to the square root of x squared plus y squared plus z squared. So this will be equal to the square root of our x is equal to 1, so squared, plus our y, which is the coefficient, it will be negative 1 squared, plus our k, which is equal to 1 squared as well. So our value of C will be equal to, C should be equal to the square root of, we have 1 squared is 1 plus negative 1 squared is 1 plus 1. So our C, our magnitude of C should be equal to the square root of 3, unless otherwise. So we have the square root of 3, like that. So that's our answer for that one. So what are we going to do for this one? Let's say we have this one, then they have told us to find the magnitude of that. Let's say, let's find the value of ay, in which ay is, let's say, positive. What are we going to have? So if ay is positive, so already they have given us the magnitude, which means size. So what we are going to say is fy, since they have given us the magnitude, we are going to use the size formula or magnitude formula, which is the square root of our x squared plus y squared plus our z squared. So this should be equal to the square root of, what's our x? Our x is the one with I, which will be our 5 squared, plus our y is the one with j, so we are going to have ay squared. Then we have our z is the one with attached to k, which will be our 4 squared, like that. Then we are going to have the square root of our 5 squared is 25 plus ay squared. Then we have plus our 16, like that. So this is our f, like that. So we are going to have, we know that the magnitude of f, according to what we have been told, it is equal to square root of 90. So where there is this, we can put the square root of 90, which should be equal to the square root of our 25 plus 16 gives us 41. Then we have plus ay squared. From here, we are going to introduce the squares on both sides. We square this, then we square this. So when we square these two, we are going to get this one and this one cancel, this one and this one cancel. So the square root with a square will cancel. So we have 90 should be equal to 41 plus ay squared. So we are going to have a 90 minus 41 should be equal to ay squared. So we are going to have 90 minus 41, which will be a 49. Which should be equal to ay squared. We introduce the square root, which should be equal to 7, should be equal to ay. So that's how we go about that. Thank you very much for watching the video. Hope you would like, subscribe, and share for more if you found it useful. So let's just do the last part to say, let's say it tells you now to find the unit vector. The unit vector of f. So unit vector of f. So we know that our f was given as, so this was our f. Now we know the value of ay is 7. So we can say f should be equal to, we have 5i, then we have plus, where there is ay is equal to 7. So where there is ay, we can say 7, then we say j, then we have plus 4k. The brackets, then we have the Newton. So the magnitude or the unit vector is the vector divided by itself. So f cap means unit vector should be equal to the vector itself over its magnitude. So this is how we find the unit vector. So we are going to have, all we have to do is just substitute. Where there is f, we just put the vector for f, which is our 5i plus our 7j plus our 4k, like that. Then over, we have our square root of 90, like that. Remember, the unit vector, you can just think of it as, let's say you have 1 plus 3 over 4. So you will realize 1 plus 3 is equal to 4, but we have over 4. 4 divided by 4 is equal to positive 1, like that. So if that's the case, this simply means to say this 1 plus 3 would represent the vector. So if you have the vector on top divided by its magnitude, that's your unit vector. A unit vector is a vector of unit 1. So that's that for this video. See you in the next tutorial.